Hello, party people. Well, look at this. So, I have some good news about my eye. It's looking really good. I figured out how to get my eyes not to itch anymore, which in return has made that sty almost go away. It's still there, but doesn't look that bad at all. Maybe I won't even get it removed. My wife probably wouldn't be very happy about that. But anyway, how's it going? Everyone watching this is either not Jewish or extremely not religious like myself, since it is Yom Kippur and I am doing a YouTube. So let's talk about Forward and BHF because that is what you came here to talk about. It has been, I think I did my last YouTube on Friday or Monday. I don't even know. But everybody is just so nervous and everyone needs their handheld. And the stocks trade like shit. So let's get real here. Let's talk about what's going on with these two stocks and whether these deals are dead, whether we should be concerned, etc. Let's start with Forward. So Forward's basically gone straight down for like 5 straight days. It's very levered. Um, we are at October 2nd, and I will replay the time frame for you briefly. The last major article we had was in the middle of July that said that there were 5 bidders in the first round. We then got an article from Axios Pro in the middle of August that said final round bids have been pushed back to the beginning of September. Okay, early September. We then on August 28th got a resignation from one of the Omni directors for personal and professional reasons, and they did not want to exercise their right to put someone else on the board. And now it's October 2nd, and we have no news whatsoever in the entire month of September, and no deal, and a stock that's today is flat. It's at $25, $24.89. What's going on with Forward Air? So let's do the negatives first. The sector and the trucking sector in general, has been a disaster, and the stocks are down like 10% from July and at 52-week lows. They've been doing bad for a couple of years now, but they just keep doing even worse. So you have bad macro stuff going on with transports and trucking. Second negative, no articles except from Reuters since the middle of July, and we don't know why they pushed back final bids to the beginning of September. And we still don't have a deal. It's October 2nd. I thought we would have a news or a deal by the end of September, and it hasn't happened. So those are the negatives. Positives are still overwhelmingly better than the negatives. So I don't think that that board member resigned at the end of August without clear line of sight into knowing there will be multiple bidders for this business. First positive. Second positive, the board is stacked with all pro selling the company board members now. There's virtually no risk that if there is a clearing bid for Forward, that they don't take the deal and sell it. That could be a low bid though, 30, 31, 32, $33 a share. Okay. Third positive, Clearlake owns about 10% of the company, and they bought in the open market in the last 2 years, and they filed a 13D in early July. They already were a 13D holder, but they filed early July that they were bidding on the company, and Reuters reported they were one of the 5 bidders in July. Clearlake runs $100 billion. Clearlake has been looking at this for years, and like I said, owns 10% of the company. And all you need is Clearlake to want to still own this after they wanted to own it in July at a $30 higher price, and the business gets sold. Okay, if Clearlake is still there, okay, then this transacts. But we might have up to 4 other firms that also want to own this. Okay, if they make it to the first round, they've done due diligence on it already. Excuse me. As BHF goes lower, and I have call spreads being executed. Disgusting, ugly. We'll get to BHF in a second. So I think we'll hear about Forward imminently. I think I need it by October OpEx, but I think it will happen in the next 2 weeks. I think a deal will be in the low 30s to $40 a share. Obviously, the market doesn't agree with that. The problem with Forward is that if there is a break, this could go to $15, right? It's very levered. The business hasn't been doing great, though the business has stabilized in the last 2 quarters. It's impossible to know what happens in a break. because there's no path. You'd have to wait for the cyclicality of the business to turn, and you have all this leverage. You could have covenant issues. That's why people are scared. So the stock going from 28 to 25 is insignificant, right? It's so levered, and the EV/EBITDA has barely budged in the $3 that it's moved. My favorite trades in forward continue to be October 25 calls and November 25 30s, in case it goes past October. But I just can't see how that's going to go past October. The last thing I'll say about forward is this is a public process. So if they got to the final round, which was early September, and we're at October 2nd, and either nobody bid or the bids were too low, the process is over, and we get a press release saying that they've concluded the strategic review. Instead, we have no news, which means it's much more likely there's either a bidding war or they're finalizing the contract with the buyer. So I love forward. Okay, I have not changed my views there whatsoever. I just hate the way it trades. With BHF, we are 2 weeks tomorrow from the advanced articles, and we have no deal. Okay, and the market's obviously freaking out that it shouldn't take 14 days to get to price when they had a range already in one article, and they had an exact price around 70 in the other article. So the market's thinking that there's a hiccup. It's a very sketchy business with very complicated accounting, and break there is like 35. So again, really scared ARBs. That's why it moves from 56 to 52. Okay, there's not really much to overthink here. With BHF, again, I think that signs imminently. If you get to October OpEx and there's no deal, that would be 28 days from the two advanced articles. I'm not going to go through again the process of the other articles. One thing I would like to point out again is that I think that, again, you have a board that's on your side here. This board does want to sell. The board initiated the process in January. It was a secret process, but it leaked to the Financial Times in January. Financial Times is the same articles, same journalists that put out the early September article about how the buyers were finalizing the equity checks. It seems like most of these leaks have come from the company side and the bankers, not from the buyers. The BHF's the same thing. I mean, I think this is done in the next 2 weeks. I'm nervous that it hasn't been done yet. Reuters had no timeline in it, and Bloomberg said the board could decide by as soon as next week, which was last week. Didn't say a deal would be signed. It said the board would decide whether it was going to stay public or not. To me, again, no article is good news here. It's very easy for them to have decided to move on last week. I don't know why they would have done that. They've been in exclusive talks since July. Again, I think the board is on our side here. But if this did break and it was done, I think we'd have an article that said it broke. Conversely, I don't think you'd have another article that says still in advanced talks. The last two articles were extremely specific. So absent like the Wall Street Journal, which hasn't reported on it yet, coming out and saying as soon as Monday, I don't think you'll get an article there until you have a signed deal. Look, both of these have not been like I expected them to be. I'm down pretty significantly on both of them, both common and in my call spreads and my calls. I add every day. I'm very bullish on both of them. It's very hard to remain bullish when they go down every single day. They're treated like a decaying option, right? The stock is, and my options, but mostly the stock. And my odds on BHF, they're north of 85. Sorry, on forward, they're north of 85% still. And on BHF, they're still 90%. I don't see how they get away from signing a deal there, despite what the stock is pricing in, which is 50% or lower right now. Not in common, it's like 10 up, 15 down, 10, 12 up, 17 down, whatever. But with options, you could put on November spreads at 260, 255. And even a $65 deal will clear the $65 deal will clear the $60 call spread. I think there's a very low risk that the deal won't be 65. I think it'll be more likely 68, 69, something like that. So I'm not too worried about it repricing from last week or from 13 days ago when the articles came out. But of course, that's always a risk. So let's hope on Monday we get 2 deals. I hate having to do these, but and look, these are very risky. Okay, Forward has tons of debt, so the stock will go to like $15 if this breaks. And BHF is really sketchy, and if they can't get a deal done, they shopped it to the whole world. So there's no reason to think it wouldn't go to 35. And these aren't companies I'd want to own after a break. So this is like totally, you know, the shittiest of the shit when it comes to, pre-merger speculation. So invest at your own risk and size things appropriately. Both of my positions are about 35% delta adjusted. But I'll take the tax losses this year against gains if they don't work. If they both don't work, most of my gains for this year will be shot. I'm still up for the year if they both don't work because it's just been that good of a year. I think I'm up like, I don't even know, 40 something percent right now. But yeah, it would wipe out all my gains if they both fail. So I don't see that happening. They're not correlated to each other. The financing markets are great. There's no reason for them both to fail, except they're both pieces of shits. All right, I'm talked enough. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend. Peace.